Hello, BC. It's Russ Shaw. Haven't done one of these in a minute. The weather has turned here in the Seattle area. We had a really beautiful, kind of mild summer, and now we're descending into the gloom. Just in time for like the Halloween season. First day of fall was what, yesterday? And went to a record show. Put up that video earlier today. And now I'm going to share some of the records I got at the record show. And we got some Halloween stuff here too. So I got... I'll share some new stuff I got as well. Oh, his jaw came loose. Look at that. I have to take that. Yeah, that's fine. It'll be alright. I did get this in the mail recently. This is the... Speaking of Halloweeny, last year we got this one for Halloween. We got the Hunter's Moon right there, 7-inch, and then this is 7 inches of Satanic Panic. Right. So here's some of the stuff I got. Everything I got in here was under 20 bucks. I didn't spend more than 20 bucks on any one record. Actually, I only spent 20 bucks on one record. The rest of them were like 100, including the Eurythmics Touch. This is one I've been looking for a while. So this is sort of on the want list. There were some other records there on the want list, but they were a little too expensive for this cat, for this dude right here. Touch. This came out in 1983. There's Annie Lennox right there on the cover. Some great tunes on here. This was I love that. You know, I didn't really enjoy that music as much in the 80s at that time. At that time I was more of a metalhead kid. In 83 I would have been, geez, what, 14, 15, something like that. I was more into, you know, the metal, the metal. You can't stop the metal. Metal will live on. Anyway, we got this, picked up this one, was on my want list. It's weird. It's a very collectible album. 1973, Herbie Hancock. It's the 70s. I got some 70s stuff, man. And this album is, I like it. It's different. This album, I guess, went to like number 13 on the Billboard 200 back in the day, back in 73. It's I see a lot of people like talking about it in their collections, and I found this for like $5. It's a little beat, I'm not gonna lie, but it does play on the good turntable. I found that this turntable we got, the new one we got, we can play a lot more scratchy, like it's more forgiving on scratchy records than our Techniques that we had, the old 80s 81 or whatever it was, Techniques. Cool, but yeah, I kind of kept the arm just right on the needle. So anytime you had a record that was a little bit scratchy at all, it would skip. And I didn't want to put too much weight, because that thing is like a big old tone arm. It was like a freaking Mack truck sitting right there on the vinyl. So yeah, I tried to keep it skating as much as I could, and it would just skip all the time. So that's why we used the, you know, the red. I did that whole video on the red tip Victrola all-in-one scratchy record player. But now we can play, I still play records on that, but they sound so much worse. They do. Like, it's a noticeable difference on the new turntable, like a big time noticeable difference. I mean, it was a noticeable difference on the other one too, but this one is a little more forgiving. Just to say that. Here's another one from the 70s, Abandoned Luncheonette from Daryl Hall and John Oates. Hall and Oates. 1974, if I'm not mistaken, this album came out. It's pretty good. I like it. It's got a few rockin' songs. What's that song I listened to earlier? Lady Rain. I like that song. It's probably my favorite song on this album. And this album sounds pretty good. It's a little, I mean, for what was it, $7? Is that what I paid for it? $5. Paid $5 for it. Yeah, you know, it's got a little surface noise, but it's not too incredibly bad. And I was never into Hall & Oates, especially in the 80s. They had some big hits in the 80s that I can remember.
Get you too far.
I don't remember Hall & Oates in the 70s because I was a child. So there's that. Got into AC/DC, 70s AC/DC. Bon Scott. If you like Bon Scott, you like 70s rock. You do. Sorry. Some of the anti-70s people. Yeah, well, do you like Highway to Hell? That's 1979, baby.
Almost 80.
Almost 80. But all the way back to 74, you had Jailbreak. Jailbreak. That was their first, I believe that was their debut album. I mean, at least in this country. I don't know. I mean, Australia, my friend Ben out there, he knows that stuff way better than I do. We just got American AC/DC with the weird covers, you know, psychedelic, whatever. You know, I like the Dirty Deeds cover in Australia way more than I like the Dirty Deeds cover that the American. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, whatever. Here's another one I got cheap. This one was like $5 as well. I don't think I've ever seen this record. The Best of the James Gang with Joe Walsh, and it's got all the big James Gang freaking tunes on it. Funk 48, Funk 49, Walk Away, Take a Look Around. I mean, I like it. This is good. I like Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh and the James Gang. Who doesn't like that? So, BBC Sessions. This is the one I spent the most money on. Kind of been after this record. I did not have this record. So, Jimi Hendrix. I like BBC Sessions. Almost everything I've heard BBC Session-wise has been good. I like the Led Zeppelin BBC Sessions were really good. I bought the Green Day BBC Sessions, which was like, wow, that's pretty good. I like it. I listened to some on the streamer before I bought it, and I'm like, yep, I gotta get that. So, and Hendrix had a love for England. I mean, he stayed there a long time. If you go to England, here in Seattle, there's his grave, right, where he's buried. He's from here, but he spent a lot of time in the UK. And he also has like a sort of a grave or a memorandum, memorial, whatever you call it, there in London. And it's interesting because I hear that London and Seattle have very similar weather. It rains a lot. It's kind of gray, a little gloomy. And Hendrix left us way too soon. Can you imagine if he would have lived longer? But he didn't. So that's just how the cookie crumbles and the dice rolls and so forth. So those are the records I got at the record show. I'll share some other stuff that I got recently because I haven't shared a lot of stuff lately. I haven't been talking about records for a minute. So here's another new one over here. Oh yeah, we gotta share this with you. This is really cool. Okay, so Mammoth 2, I did get the Wolfgang Van Halen record, and I like this record. I've been, I'll be honest, I've been listening to it more in the car on the streamer than we have a CD player as well, so I listen to CDs in the car and cassette tapes. Our 95 Caravan has a cassette tape player. No, 2005, excuse me. 95 would make sense. 2005 is kind of late. Like, really, Chrysler? You're gonna keep making, putting cassette players in cars? It's purple, which is pretty cool. And it sounds pretty good, you know? It sounds pretty good. That's one of the things that I'll say Not trying to raise a fuss or gripe too much, but a lot of the records sound like CDs, you know. Sometimes you listen to it on the vinyl and you're like, I should have just got the CD if you're just going to listen. But I do like the artwork. You get a lot of extra cool artwork. This one has a autograph print. I don't know. Pretty sure that's just a copy, but it was on the, you know, when I bought it, it said autograph, comes with autograph print. So I'm like, okay, I'll pick that up. Not sure what that means. If Mr. Wolfgang actually sat down and penned that scribble right there, but I'd like to think he did. Makes me feel better about my record collecting ways. It's another cool thing, you know, you don't get with a CD is this huge bam right there. It's a cool photograph. And yeah, all the liner notes. Some of the songs I like in here. Miles Above Me, Take a Bow. I mean, he was going through something writing this, and it's pretty cool. I mean, that's Optimist, I'm All Right, Erase Me, Better Than You. The guy's like, I like, if it's him writing, this is just some deep stuff. Mr. Wolfgang. Van Halen. Been through a lot, man. You're the son of a rock star, and he's making music, and it's pretty dang good music, you know. He's like rock royalty, I suppose. Another one I got, this I found used. This, again, we're going to Daybreak Records. I stop by Daybreak every so often, coming home from work or whatnot. And I found this for $10. From 2014. Look at that, right? Rock or Bust. It's got the cool cover. Boom, like it. Boom. See that? Watch. Boom. Rock or Bust. And I like this. I enjoy this record. I'm not, you know, the stuff that AC/DC put out in the last, 20 years or so. I was like, okay. But I enjoy this album. There's a few songs I really like on here. Rock the Blues Away is a great AC/DC song. Play Ball. I remember they're playing that. Baseball, Major League Baseball here in the States was playing Play Ball a lot during the shows. Sweet Candy is another one that's pretty good. Rock the House, Hard Times, Baptism by Fire. Now, what's really cool about this too, and this record sounds pretty good, and it's heavy. It's like a, you know, it's got the extra grams. You know what I'm saying? Got that on there. It is a heavy record. It's not flimsy by any means. And we got AC/DC on the Columbia label. Look at that. Huh? Is that Atlantic? No. That's Columbia right there. Interesting. And we got the inside. In Rock We Trust. Boom. Lightning Bolt in Stone. And here was one of the coolest things about this is it came with this book. Look at that. There's all these huge killer photos. And we roll, yeah, we're rolling, rocking, and rolling, you know. Angus. 2014 Angus. 9 years ago. There's Phil. I think Phil had just been let out from his, he put a hit on a dude, right? Or something, from what I understand. It's like, geez, man. Dirty D's Done Dirt Cheap. Phil, it's a song. It's just music, all right? You don't go doing that kind of stuff. Try to hire a guy. He did a year. He did a year in prison as a celebrity. I mean, that's a time. I don't know if he was here in the States, it probably would have been, probably do some public service announcements or something and be out in a week or so. But there's Angus. dudes. AC/DC went through a lot of drummers during their history, but Phil's good. Phil's like, I heard a guy talking about, like, if you want to learn drums. Oh, it was Dave Grohl. I believe it was Dave Grohl that said that. If you want to learn drums, study Phil. Study Phil Rudd, because he is a drummer, and you know, keeping the beat, the bass and the drums. What did he say? They're the most humility. You're gonna be the most humble musician if you play bass or drums. You're keeping time, baby, and you do that well. Let's play ball. Shooting down the walls. Let's play ball. Boom. Brian Johnson's back. Some more lyrics. You turn on the amps. There he is. Some rock and roll thunder. All right. More. There we go. Angus with the ties. I like that. Got the ties right there. Brian. I'm going to show you this whole book. Got flagged for copyright. There's a good photo. There's the list. It's another sweet photo. I mean, just this stuff was worth the $10 I paid for it. And most important of all, thanks to Mal, who made all of it possible. Malcolm Young. I mean, he lived a while. There he is. There's Angus with the horns. I love that. I got that shirt too, by the way. Angus. But yeah, Malcolm Young, man. And I saw interviews with Angus and talking about him and coming real close to, you know, shedding some tears. Don't blame him. That was his brother. I mean, AC/DC wouldn't have been AC/DC without Malcolm Young. All right. So that's enough about AC/DC. Here's another record I've been looking for a long time. And I like just, I don't know, I'm weird with the southern rock stuff. I like that. Like my boy from Seattle. How come you're not talking about grunge rock, Russ? I will. Give me a minute. But this album, I've been looking. I almost bought a newer press of this for like $20 on Amazon, and I think it's sold out or something. I didn't get it, but I got this for $3 at Daybreak Record. $3, and it's not super scratchy. It sounds good. I was like amazed. I'm glad I waited. $3, used copy of Leonard Skinner, pronounced. You know how it's pronounced? Leonard Skinner. So I had to tell people how to pronounce it with this record. It's got all the, you know, I mean, this is like one of those, like, sort of, it's so good, it's like greatest hits kind of stuff. Of course, you got Free Bird on here. You got Mississippi Kid. You got Gimme 3 Steps. I mean, amazing, amazing. Amazing record. I got more stuff to share, but I think that's about it. We're going on 20 minutes, and that's way too much time, so I'm out. Later. Thanks for watching. Bye. Kiss the Go-Goat and Mary on a Cross on the back right there. So, this is Hunter's Moon. Halloween Kills. From the Halloween movie soundtrack thing. That was, a few years ago? I think that came out in 21, didn't it? The movie. And this song came out before the album did. The Impera album. So that was fun. That's that. So now I'm going to get into what I got at the old record show up there in Mount Vernon at a brewery. I had 2 amber ales from Lazy Boy Brewing, which ironically is here in Everett. I didn't get any beers from there. Is that one of the cats was like making noise? That's awesome. Which one was it? It was that white one. We got like 3 cats in here, so bear with us. So that's part of why I don't have, I didn't have a lot of money. So what you're about to see is some workers I bought on a budget, all right? Because we spent like $400 on Pharaoh the cat, $435. And then we're getting their last batch of flea medicine, which was another like $60. So yeah, it was a lot. Is that cat sleeping? I think it's like snoring or something. It's like cat snore noise.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's how exciting I am to these animals. That's how much they care about vinyl.